Hello my lovelies, and welcome to my channel, The Happy Wanderers, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. Today we will be asking, what are people's perceptions of you when they first meet you? What is their first impression of you? And also, who are you really? So behind other people's perceptions, who is the true and authentic you? Take a moment to look at each of the piles. We've got 4 piles here today. Pile 1 is represented by the little owl. We have pile 2 represented by the flower. We have pile 3 represented by the little sparkly, spangly butterfly. And we have pile 4 represented with the little yellow teddy bear. So take a moment to focus on the piles. Choose the one that resonates with you. You can close your eyes, take a big deep breath in and a big deep breath out. Pause the video here if you need to. Take a moment to choose which pile best suits you or that you feel a pull towards. Please remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates for you. You may find that all of it resonates for the pile that you pick, or you may find that it only resonates a little bit. If it doesn't resonate at all, that is perfectly fine. It just means that there isn't a message for you in this pick a card reading. The reading is also timeless, which means that you can do it at any stage, regardless of when it was actually posted. Okay, so that's about it. Let's get into it. Again, take one more big deep breath. Release. Focus on the cards. Pick the one that resonates with you. And the timestamps are in the description, so you can jump ahead to the pile that you've picked so that you can hear your reading. Okay, let's go. Hello, Group 1. If you picked the gorgeous little owl, then you are Group 1. Let's have a look at what the cards have got to say for you today. So, how are you perceived? Group 1, Ace of Wands, Strength, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, Group 1. So, you are perceived as being a very strong person. The perception of you is that you are very much a leader. You are someone who is seen as having a lot of innovative ideas, somebody who is really passionate, really fiery. The Strength card is Leo, and the Wands cards that we've got here are fire signs. So maybe you are a fire sign. You might be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. If not, you very much present that sort of energy. So you're someone who you present as being someone who is really confident, someone who is wise, someone who really is a leader, especially here with this Strength card as well. The perception that people have of you is that, yeah, you are someone who is just really strong in themselves. You know what you want, and you go after it. You are, as I said, somebody who has... So I'm just trying to wrap my microphone cord around this so it doesn't get caught up in the reading and distract us. There we go. Hopefully that's better. Yeah, you are someone who has a lot of bright ideas, is very passionate, very sparky, possibly very witty, very energetic, someone who is on the go, someone who isn't afraid to show their confidence, possibly someone who can take over a little bit. This card can sometimes talk about not taking over and sort of taking a leadership role from a supporting position. So you could be someone who comes across as really extroverted, as I said, real fire sign, so really passionate, really extroverted, really out there, really strong, someone who really has it together in themselves, possibly someone really entrepreneurial, a real go-getter. So yeah, group one, people really admire you. They see that you are someone to really be to be respected, respected and admired, and yeah, kind of someone who you would want to have on your team, I guess. People would look to you as being potentially like the ideal manager or CEO, a really great business partner, even just a really strong friend, a really strong person. The perception that they have is that yeah, you've really got it together and you have a lot of confidence in yourself. Now let's take a look at who you really are behind the scenes. So we've got the Ace of Swords. I'm going to pop these up here, trying to make sure that it's all still in view of the camera. Here we go. Okay, sorry, just move some things back so we can see. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Swords, we have the Four of Swords, and we have the Hierophant. Okay, so group one, your energy of who you really are comes across as very differently to the energy that you put out there to the world and the way that people see you. So the Ace of Swords, who you are is someone that is really intelligent, really intellectual, really good with communicating, has a lot of insight and really knows how to talk to people, definitely has some great ideas. So certainly people here seeing that, you know, you're someone who brings a lot of creative energy, a lot of new passion, a lot of excitement to projects. They're certainly not wrong. You also bring, not only that, but you also bring a lot of new ideas to the table. As I said, a lot of clarity, a lot of insight. You're someone who is really switched on. You're really connected with your intellect and with your emotional intelligence. But you're also quite introverted as well. So while these cards show you as a real extrovert, I get the sense that even if you are an extrovert, you're really someone who needs to take time to go within, and just kind of, yeah, to recharge after you spend time with people. You might be a born leader, but it takes it out of you. You're someone who does need their time to rest, to be able to kick back in order to regenerate those ideas and kind of have this flow of intellect that you, and insight and clarity that you do have. And you're also someone who keeps your own counsel. So while there is a lot of fire energy, a lot of extroverted energy going on up here, you are someone who, with the Hierophant, you're very wise, you're really an authority in your own life, but in your own life and in your field as well, I think. But you're someone who focuses your thoughts within. The perception of you is that you expend a lot of your energy outwardly, externally, giving to others, but in reality, you're someone who, you are keen to share your knowledge with people, you are keen to share your insights, but you're someone who very much looks within, keeps your own counsel, in order to be able to come up with these brilliant ideas and to have this emotional intelligence and this intellect. So yeah, you're someone who is really able to be there for the greater good of others, but you very much also need that time to rest and recharge and keep to yourself. So group one, that's you in a nutshell, both who you are as a person and who or how you are perceived as a person by others, what other people's first impressions are of you. So if that resonated, please let me know in the comments. I always really love to hear if the readings did resonate, if you have any feedback. If you could take a moment to hit the like button if it did resonate, that would be really helpful. It does help with the algorithms and sharing the video throughout Facebook. And if you like the content, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I would love to be able to see you in some future videos. Thank you so much for stopping by, group one. Hello there, group two. If you chose the little flower, then you chose group two. Welcome to the pick a card reading, and let's see what the cards have for you today. So what are people's first impression of you? How are you perceived when people first meet you? Interesting. Okay, group two. So you're perceived as someone who is really quite powerful. We've got the Magician card here. So people see you as someone who really is able to make their own luck. Someone successful, someone confident, someone empowered, open-minded, creative, someone who's in touch with their intuition. Basically, when people meet you, they know that you're someone who is going to get the job done. They know you're someone who is going to go after exactly what you want, and that you are someone who can get it too. Although in combining that with the Five of Swords, I also get the idea that people do think that you can be a bit ruthless sometimes in this power and in this going after what you want. You're obviously someone who maybe you come across as really ambitious, and you are someone who will, maybe the impression that you give to people is that you will go after what you want at the cost of potentially friends and relationships. You're not someone to allow people to stand in your way when it comes to taking what you want, or also saying what you want. You're someone who will rise to a challenge, but potentially you're someone who can be a little bit negative and pessimistic as well, which can be a bit confounding to people, because the Magician is all about, being flexible, creative, open-minded, but maybe there are times, group 2, when you can be a little bit of both. So people might find that you can be a bit of a conundrum, someone who can kind of be really positive and inspiring one day, but potentially a little bit pessimistic and a little bit ruthless on other days. They definitely see that you're someone who is strong enough to walk away from things that don't suit you. So, I get the sense, group 2, that people know not to mess with you. You're someone who they can see is really powerful. You can make things happen for yourself. You are really the person that you would want leading your team if you were in a corporate sort of business situation and you needed to get the job done. You're a person, or at least so group 2, you are perceived to be a person who is able to go after what they want without worrying too much about holding on to what doesn't serve you. If something or someone doesn't work out for you, you're strong enough to walk away, and you don't mind. You're perceived as being someone who is quite comfortable to do their own thing, to kind of be in darkness, not necessarily know exactly what the next step is, but people trust that even if you don't, you will be able to find your way to the next thing because you are the Magician. So people see you as very, very powerful, but potentially they do see you as a little bit ruthless and someone who is able to just cut ties if they don't feel that things are working out for them. So I get the sense, group 2, that people are actually a little bit intimidated by you. I don't know if this is something that sort of resonates and you find that maybe it does feel that people are, if not fearful of you, just, maybe very, very respectful and very kind of careful, watch their P's and Q's around you. But you do give people the impression that you are someone who is going to go after what you want. You're not afraid of people. You're not afraid of losing people. You're very ambitious, and you're going to make things happen for yourself. In terms of who you really are, we have the Two of Swords, we have the Fool, and we have the King of Pentacles. So in terms of who you really are, I feel like you are not too far off the way that people see you, except that I think that there's a softer side to you that people don't actually see. So I think you being being perceived to be the Magician, it seems here with the Fool, who you really are is someone who really is willing to take a risk. You're someone who is willing to kind of leap in both feet first to have that adventure, or you're open to change, you're open to challenges, you're open to new things, and that can really make you seem very much like the Magician, someone who's really empowered and really comfortable and able to bring about things for themselves. Who you really are is someone who is really actually quite optimistic, but also someone who is very intuitive. Again, here, you might be someone who really kind of keeps your own counsel, group 2. You look within while you are quite ready to make the jump, I get the sense that you don't do this lightly. So I think as who you are as a person, people see you as being sort of ruthless and ready to walk away from things that don't serve you. But I believe that in reality, it takes you some time to actually make that decision. You're someone who will look within and gather all of the information that you need before you cut anyone off, and before you take that jump and you leap into anything. So you're someone who is really able to go for new things, be flexible, be positive, as much as it can come across to other people. Maybe the first impressions is that you can be quite negative. I don't think that that's the case when it comes down to who you really are. I think that you actually are someone who is quite positive, but you are someone who looks really deeply within. So as someone who looks within, potentially you could be someone who really just voices your concerns. You've also got the King of Pentacles, who he is someone who, you're generous, you're protective, you're confident in your authority. You don't feel pressured to make choices. You don't feel as though you need to rush into things, and that can possibly make it seem as though you're quite critical or you're quite negative, when in actual fact you're just someone who really relies on their own instinct and their own authority in order to make their decisions before they take the leap and dive in both feet first. And so when you're ready to take the leap, you really do jump in, and I think that that's why you really make things happen, and then that's why you give the appearance of being the magician. And I think because you keep your own counsel, you don't feel the need to explain yourself a lot to people. Group 2, I think you're someone who's really comfortable and confident in their own authority, and if you have thought long and hard about getting rid of someone or something that doesn't serve you, once you have looked within and really made that decision from your heart, you will take that leap and you will be confident in what you're doing, and you are someone who really trusts that things are unfolding perfectly as they are supposed to be, which is why, again, you can potentially come across as being a little bit ruthless, as being someone who, is not going to be messed with, someone who will walk away from situations and people that don't serve them, but also someone who's really empowered to make their own destiny. And in actual fact, you are not a ruthless person. Group 2, you are just someone who is really wise and measured in what they do and the decisions that they make for themselves, and someone who's really in touch with their intuition and able to let go. Someone evolved enough to know not to hang on to what doesn't serve them. So that is you, Group 2. I hope that that resonated. If it did, please let me know in the comments. I really love hearing whether or not the readings do resonate with you. If it did, please hit the like button. It's really helpful in getting the YouTube algorithm to share my video so I can get it out there to more people. If you like the content, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I've really enjoyed reading for you, Group 2, and I hope to see you again at another reading. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hello, Group 3. Welcome to the Pick a Card reading. If you chose the Sparkly Butterfly, you are Group 3. And I am excited to read for you today. So let's ask the cards the question, how do people perceive you? What is their first impression of you? And who are you really? Okay, so lots and lots of, Wands energy and Pentacles energy. So Group 3, I get that people see you as being grounded, at the same time as being someone who is kind of really passionate, energetic, and hardworking. So you're someone that people see as being confident. You're someone truthful. You're someone honest, but not blunt. You're someone who isn't afraid to speak from your heart and tell people the truth. They see you as a bit of a leader, but someone who, kind of like how you sometimes have those bosses and it's the boss in title, but then there's that person that you go to, like the 2IC, the second in charge, who is really running the show. They just do it quietly in the background, almost like in The Wizard of Oz, the wizard behind the curtain pulling all of the strings, the one who is quietly doing it without all the fanfare. This is how people view you, Group number 3. But in saying that, they also view you as having a lot of energy, being someone who is open-minded, someone who's adventurous, someone who is focused on action and hardworking, someone who's really excited to bring about change where required, although it doesn't necessarily appear to be who you are right off the bat. I feel like when they first get to know you, they definitely know that you're someone who is quietly confident and knows who they are. And as they start to get to know you, they see that you actually have all of this passion and energy behind you, and that you are really hardworking. They see you as someone with a really positive attitude, someone who really gives everything your all in order to achieve your best. You will really put yourself, or you're perceived as being someone who will really put yourself out to get the job done. Group 3, I think that you are really perceived as being really hardworking, reliable, someone that can be counted on, and someone who is really confident in themselves, someone who knows themselves and is really passionate, really positive, really fiery, but in a really directed way. Like, you know, someone who is excited about the projects that they're getting stuck into, has lots of passion and lots of things that they are working on. Definitely someone that you can confide in, someone you can come to and talk to, almost like a bit of a mother figure or a father figure if you're a male doing this reading. But group 3, you are perceived as, yeah, someone who's really well respected, someone that people can look up to. Who are you in your real life? Not too different from how you are seen. Group 3, yeah, people don't have it too far wrong at all. Look at all the wands down here as well. So you are someone who is really fiery and really passionate, but not in a kind of fly in, you know, you're not someone who people see you as having a lot of energy, but they see you as also, as I said, being hardworking, but really solid, really kind of calm and predictable and confident in their approach. And I feel like that's exactly who you are. So you're someone who's ready to take a risk. You're prepared to take a leap, but you will do so in an informed fashion. You're someone who is adventurous and is ready to explore, and someone who's really enthusiastic, someone who does like to lead, and someone who can actually lead their team to victory. So whether that's you, kind of the head of the household, being able to bring good things about for your family, whether that's you as a boss or a co-worker, you're someone who's very successful. You're definitely someone who is really hardworking, but you're also someone who has really set a vision for themselves and is able to achieve that, and is able to really be an enthusiastic steward and leader to whoever it is that is following you. But you're someone that people are very, very drawn to, especially with your sun card. So you also might be someone who really has a lot of luck. The sun really smiles on you as a person. Maybe you just see joy in everything and have gratitude in everything, and so therefore it really feels like the sun shines on you because you really stop to recognize when it does. But yeah, you're certainly someone who is really confident. You're out and proud. You are, yeah, really positive, upbeat, really sunshiny, authentic, genuine sort of person. Someone who is able to bring their team or their family or themselves to victory, and yeah, is really solid in themselves. You, group number 3, your cards, the perception of you really do match up with who you are as a person. I think you seem like you are someone who really has it together, and probably even if everything isn't going great, I feel like you're someone who has the power to really turn that around, to get it going in your direction, get that sun shining on you again. So yeah, really bright, enthusiastic, optimistic person. I think you are group 3. If that resonates, please leave me a comment. I love to hear your feedback. If it did resonate, please click the like button, because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm in getting my video shared around. And if you like the content and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would love to see you in some future videos, and I have really enjoyed reading for you today. So group number 3, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you in a future video. Hello, group number 4. If you chose the little yellow teddy bear, which I just love, it's so quaint, you are group number 4. Thank you so much for stopping by for my pick a card reading. And let's see what the cards have for you today. Number 4. What are people's first impressions of you? How do you come across when people first meet you, and how do they perceive you? Okay, so group number 4, I get that people perceive you as being really quite serious. Maybe someone who's really quite introverted, someone hardworking, someone who is possibly like really busy focusing on their own things. People view you as being someone who has integrity, someone who has a lot of dignity. They can see you as being a bit of a leader, someone who really is hardworking and really has a lot of pride in the job that they do. So if you picked group number 4, yeah, people's perception of you is that you are someone who is cooperative, someone who is hardworking, someone who is working for the team, basically, and someone who really wants to do the right thing. Not so much seek people's approval, but you're someone who you really want to turn out quality work. You want to be proud of the results of your labors, and people do see that. If you have some sort of craft or some sort of trade, or in your job, people respect you in what you do. They see that you are busy, that you are successful. They see that you are someone who is even accelerating in your growth. So, they might be looking at you as someone who is on to bigger and better things. But they also see you as someone who's quite introverted, someone who is focused on, as I said, their own stuff, might be focused on their own family. So I get that with this card, or these cards, group 4, that you're not seen as a particularly extroverted or social sort of person, but you're seen as a very solid and reliable kind of person. Potentially you may seem a little bit unapproachable to people, because your focus is here on your family or your own stuff and what you need to be doing, your own thoughts, your own emotions, and you're perceived as someone who's really working hard, I think, for a solid future, and to be able to really put out quality work into the world, or quality outcomes of some description. So people see you as solid, but I think potentially, they see you as a bit introverted and maybe at times a little bit unapproachable. Now let's see if that really is the case with you, group number 4. Who are you as a person? Okay, all right, so I get that as a person, the reality of you is that you actually do have quite an open heart. You're not quite as unapproachable as it may seem here with the Page of Cups and the Lovers. So you are certainly someone who wants love and wants to give love. You have a lot of love to give, and you choose wisely before you fall into love or before you connect with a person. I think that may be why it can come across sometimes that maybe you're a little bit cold or a bit introverted or a bit difficult to get to know, and that's only because you sort of don't. I think that there can be a bit of a battle with you, group 4. Maybe you're someone who really struggles a little bit with trying to hold back giving yourself too freely so that you don't get played. Maybe you've been played before, and so you love love. You're someone who has a lot of love to give, and you want to give that love, but maybe you have been played, maybe you have been hurt, so you kind of have this internal struggle with yourself as to whether or not it is safe to give your heart, whether or not it is safe to open up and kind of give these gifts and to be able to share of yourself. So I think, group 4, if you do come across as a bit introverted or a bit cold or a bit difficult to get to know, as I said, certainly people see you as someone to respect. They think that you're hardworking, that you have integrity, that you are good at what you do, and that you really go out of your way to be good at what you do, to really deliver quality results, whether that's in work, friendships, relationships. You will take care of your own. They see you as someone who is dependable and solid, but as I said, a bit difficult to get to know, and that could be because you are fighting within your own self about how to find that balance between being able to give of yourself, be loyal, be supportive, but do so without getting played. You're someone who has this really big heart, has a lot of love to give, really does want to be connected with someone and has so many gifts to give, but you're still working through, I get group number 4, just trying to balance how to be able to have both those things, how to be able to give those gifts without getting too hurt. So you're certainly not as unapproachable and as cold as what you may be perceived to be. And if you are, I think it's because you've got good reason. You have potentially been hurt before. But yeah, group number 4, you are someone with a huge heart who really wants to be able to share this with someone or with the people in your life. So that's you, group number 4. I really hope that resonated. If that did, please leave me a message in the comments. I love to hear about the feedback that you guys give me, if the readings resonated. If they did, please consider clicking the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and really gets my videos out there so that others can see them. If you haven't already subscribed and you like my content, please consider subscribing. I would love to be able to share more readings with you in the future. And thank you so much for stopping by for this pick a card reading, group number 4. It has been wonderful to read for you. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.